Yeah, that's not going to hold him. Here's your look at the Diamond Select SDCC 2022 John Wick action figure. This fully articulated 7-inch figure of John Wick features him in his classic black suit from the first movie and includes a pistol, machine gun, and display base. With over 16 points of articulation, you'll have him tearing through a bathhouse full of goons in no time. It's limited to 4,000 pieces worldwide. Just like John Wick, yeah, you could say we're back. We're back having a look at some more Diamond Select San Diego Comic-Con 2022 exclusives, this time having a look at John Wick himself. I'd like to thank the folks over at Diamond Select that did provide this sample of Wick that we could have a look at in this video. The figure is limited to 4,000 copies worldwide. Grabbing now the tape measure, we're going to first figure out how tall the figure stands. I always seem to start these with inches. I don't know why I do that. I guess I could technically start it with centimeters. But John Wick, nonetheless, is about 7 inches in height, so he's going to be a little bit taller than some of the figures we've looked at lately for San Diego Comic-Con. And that works out to be a figure that's about 17.5 centimeters tall. Speaking of San Diego and the conventions that are going on there, Diamond Select are again releasing exclusives. I'm going to bring in Bruce Lee, not only to show you the difference in size, but also to make amends, because in the review of Bruce Lee, I don't really even think I mentioned anywhere in that video that he was also an SDCC 2022 exclusive. Thanks to the folks over at Diamond Select, we've had the benefit of actually looking at the conventions that they're planning to put in for SDCC 2022, including the Dragon, Bruce Lee, as well. Bruce Lee, notably, is shorter than John Wick. John Wick, I don't think, nothing against John Wick, but I don't think he'd be able to go toe-to-toe with Bruce Lee. Could you, though, imagine a movie in which the two team up? Between the arsenal knowledge and the skills of using a firearm like John Wick, not to mention the living weapon that was Bruce Lee, they would be completely unstoppable. John Wick comes with a couple of accessories, the first of which we'll have a look at right now is his display stand. The SDCC exclusives will all come included with these oval-shaped display stands. John Wick, Johnny Lawrence, Daniel LaRusso, of course, and the already mentioned Dragon Bruce Lee all came with the same shape of stand. Although the plastic would have changed in some of the cases, the printing, of course, is also something notably done differently here. John Wick's is, of course, his name, first and last, printed onto the top of the display stand with the same placement of peg just off to the far side. It actually looks like they dotted the I. It actually would have been fun if they had gone and painted the peg a white, so it actually looked like they dotted the I. I don't know why, that was something I found entertaining. It is still, once again, a hollow display stand, perfect for holding and displaying the figure. It does have 2 peg holes, 2 on the undersides of his feet. Although you can only choose one when it comes to attaching onto the display stand. Choose very wisely. One nice touch to see that Diamond included with their release of John Wick is the Continental card. You can see right here, New York, Rome, and Casablanca. It's a very thick card. Bruce Lee did not include a card, but although he did come with a lot more in the way of accessories. Johnny Lawrence and Daniel LaRusso, you'll probably remember, already came included with the championship, the Karate Championship trading card. But I like the fact that they actually included the Continental card with this. Again, it's a nice, thick cardboard that they've done for this. Gonna move it off to the side. The figure also comes included with a couple of firearms. It would be so vacant if John Wick didn't come included with some pistols or something for him to be carrying around in his hand and shooting bad guys with. The first one he comes included with, I think, is a Heckler & Koch P30L. You can see it's nicely molded here in black plastic. It does not look like it's been painted at all, only just relying on the black plastic alone. Maybe perhaps under certain lit conditions. Kind of looks like there's a little bit of silver brushed on there, but I think it's more just my eyes playing tricks on me. I am getting a little old, after all. This can fit into either one of his hands, by the way. I don't know why I'm waving it back and forth like a windshield wiper. The figure also comes included. I was trying to pinpoint the firearm. I think this is a Kohari Arms CA415. Again, it's molded here in all the black plastic. Doesn't have a removable clip or anything like that. It seems a bit oversized, but does, like I said, fit into either one of his hands. Let's do that right now. Both the hands, actually more so this one, is actually with a permanent trigger firing finger. Say that 10 times fast. So you can really decide to display them with either one. I mean, let's just, for example, put the 415 in this hand. And it doesn't really matter necessarily, but just while you're doing this, making sure, of course, the finger lines up perfectly with the trigger. And then you can do the exact same thing on the other side, putting the smaller pistol. And John Wick easily can wield both. I'm really actually glad to see that the figure came included with 2 gripping hands as opposed to having one hand being dedicated for only the firearms and you had to kind of choose. I think in this case, I would much rather choose to have John Wick displayed with 2 firearms. A bit excessive, not excessive enough, if you ask me. Let's go ahead and get the firearms out of his hands. We're just going to put those to the side for the time being. They'll come back. They'll come back for final looks. Getting a closer look now at John Wick. I gotta say, while I was a little more reluctant to saying that the Bruce Lee looked exactly like him, I think this one actually bears a much better resemblance to Keanu Reeves. Keanu seems to struggle when it comes to growing his beard. He always has this weird separation between his sideburns and his mustache and beard. I think that's something that naturally occurs. I don't think he's going in there and dividing it off with a razor. In fact, almost to the credit of this figure, I think it actually grows a beard much better than the actor himself. Sorry, Keanu. You do struggle a bit to grow a beard. Head sculpt is pretty good on this one, actually. It's got some cuts and notable scratchings there on the sides of his face. It's got one down by his cheek, one right above his eyebrow, one across the bridge of his nose, and then just off yonder. Is that Harry Potter? No, it's not. There's a little gash right there on the top of his head as well. Paint is also quite good on this, too. Now, they've slicked back his hair, but still slicking it back. I think it bears quite a resemblance to John Wick. He is wearing a shirt. I don't know why I struggled saying shirt. He's wearing a white shirt, black tie, which is actually a separate piece, which is nice to see. An overlaid jacket, which is actually a softer bit of plastic. That's actually a second piece. Although always the case when it comes to jacketed figures like this, there's no way really you could remove the jacket. I suppose you could pop the hands off on both the sides, the arms on both sides. But then really the only problem you're still going to be facing is the fact that his jacket sleeves are still going to be painted black. So I don't know why I would remove that. But it does look like it has it's separate altogether from the shirt that's underneath. So really it is a separate piece. I like that. I don't know why that's a big thing for me, but I always like when companies actually have jackets separate. Sometimes it happens actually where the jacket is molded to the whole torso. It never really feels like there's layers going on here. I'm all about layers on figures. Why is that such a thing for me? I like the fact that the jacket is, like I said, loose. His pants match the jacket nicely. Although I find like the sleeves and the leggings of his suit are actually more of a shinier plastic, whereas jacket notably is more of a matte finish. It's not too jarring of a difference that it doesn't bother me too much, but I did notice like sleeves and legs aren't quite the same coloring of the black as they did with the jacket. But again, it's a very small criticism. Again, he also does have these shinier looking shoes. Even though he's mowing down many goons, John Wick still manages to look fairly well dressed and always keeps to a really nice polished pair of shoes. Again, we've already mentioned he does have peg holes on the undersides of his feet. Notably, the peg holes are further up the front of his feet as opposed to the heels. I don't know, it's just another observation that I noticed on the figure. For the articulation on John Wick, his head rotates all the way around. It does look down, but only just a little bit. It does look up. Again, only just a little bit. And you can also rock it back and forth as well. Arms easily come out. In fact, all the San Diego Comic-Con figures that we've looked at, John Wick seems to have the easiest time of moving his arms. You rotate the arms all the way around. Figure does have also a bicep swivel. Figure does also have a double hinge on the elbow. That's nice. And figure also does have a swivel in the hand. Because the jacket is a separate piece from the shirt that's underneath, John Wick also does have an upper torso ball joint. It's a little harder to kind of get in there because you kind of have to kind of get your finger underneath the jacket. And just be careful, of course, while you're doing that too, the tie is also a separate piece. Figure does also have a waist swivel. Figure has legs splitting till the cows come home. And you can also take the legs, move them forward. You can move them also back. Not quite halfway, but a little bit after that. He actually has 3/4 of the way up the thigh, a swivel cut. You can swivel the legs all the way around. Figure does have also a double hinge on the knee. And he does have also quite a lot of articulation on the ankle, not only allowing the feet to move forward and back this way, but also a nice ankle pivot too. Nice looking John Wick. Just between you and me and the 6 people that are watching this video, I'm not a big fan of John Wick. I love the first John Wick. John Wick 2 was pretty good. And then John Wick 3 was, for me, just okay. But I gotta say, like, Diamond Select has done a really good job here, giving us a decent looking John Wick. Again, just to slide it over and just comparisons we could only make in action figure reviews. Comparing him along with Bruce Lee. Again, I think like John Wick looks more like Keanu Reeves than the dragon figure looked like Bruce Lee. Still, though, the fact, the contrast of the two different characters and their fighting style, both cases, like I said, are San Diego Comic-Con exclusives. I know I didn't mention it at all when we looked at the dragon, but I'll certainly mention it in this review. If you guys are interested to pick up either one of these figures or the already looked at Daniel LaRusso and Johnny Lawrence, like I said, the only way to get them is either to go to the convention or you can also try to order them also online. But in many of the cases, it seems like these figures are only limited to 4,000 copies worldwide. By the way, Keanu Reeves, I can't even finish that. Keanu Reeves is watching this review. Apologies, sir, for making that comment that you have a struggle a bit growing proper foliage on your face. You try well, I mean, but it's just like the sideburn area it doesn't grow very full. And I give you credit if you're able to grow facial hair and get away with roles that allow you to still keep that facial hair. I know Bill and Ted, you had to shave it off, but like John Wick and like the newest Matrix movie, like, yeah, that was the biggest issue with the newest Matrix movie. That fact that Keanu couldn't properly grow a beard. The figure actually does do a better job of showing what a full beard should look like. Sorry, Keanu, sorry. Gotta say though, like of the 4 figures that we have looked at here, I'm still thinking about Keanu Reeves watching this video. Of the 4 figures that we've looked at from Diamond Select for at least the San Diego Comic-Con 2022 exclusives, I think actually John Wick here bears the best likeness and resemblance. The likeness for Keanu Reeves is very much notably there. I do also like the way they've painted in the little scars and gashes on his face too as well. Like, this guy's been through a lot. At least he's packing some heat. 2 specific different types of guns that he actually can be displayed with the figure. Not only that, but he also has the Continental card. He also gets himself a display stand. So there's reason, there's worthy argument as to why you would want to open this up with a package. And I know probably all you guys have been looking at these several reviews and thinking, I can't believe this guy actually opened up these packages. These things, I would have kept them sealed. And as I already said, I believe I looked at the packaging and I thought to myself, I really don't want to even open these up because the packaging is too good, not just to keep the figures inside of them. But I did push through. And of course, now looking at the final figure, the 4-figure San Diego Comic-Con exclusives, I'm not disappointed. I mean, yeah, I'm looking at right now. You can't see it right now, but I got all the packaging all over the floor. I'm going to have to clean that up and recycle it afterwards. But yeah, part of me is a little disappointed. Yeah, that I destroyed all the VHS. Why am I still struggling saying VHS? The VHS clamshell casing that Diamond Select creatively came up with all these figures. I am disappointed that that packaging has now been destroyed, but I'm appreciating at least the figures that were contained inside. John Wick looks good. He looks like a fine-looking figure, superposable. He's not limited at all with a jacket. That always seems to be a problem with jacketed figures. Sometimes if they're just molded to the torso, it just looks like one big molded bit of plastic. But really, to commend Diamond Select, they did have the jacket as a separate piece, and I like that. Not only does it not limit the articulation on it when it comes to John Wick, but it's also nice to be able to just move the jacket freely. I mean, it's like in real life. You wouldn't want to have the jacket glued to your shirt. Who's gluing shirts to jackets? But at least I like that this jacket was separate from the rest of his torso. What do you guys think of this figure? Let me know down below in the comments section. And do you struggle growing facial hair? Some of us do. Some of us don't. Some of us have actually been blessed. I don't say for me specifically, but some of us have been blessed with growing a better beard. I know some of us struggle. Some of us just grow like kind of that chin beard thing going on here. Some of us kind of grow these sporadic patches of hair. For however long you wait and think that you can just grow it out longer, the longer you wait, it's just going to be growing kind of the essential, like the same hairs, you're just going to be growing a little bit longer. Speaking of some sick looking facial hair, if you ever want to check out some sick facial hair, check out Zach from Diamond Select. He grows a mean set of pork chops on the sides of his face. Speaking of which, again, a big thank you to the folks over at Diamond Select that did provide the sample of the SDCC 2022 John Wick that we can have a look at in this video. Maybe a good question to also be asking you guys is, of the 4 figures that we've looked at from San Diego Comic-Con, which one is your favorite? Let me know down below in the comment section. And hey, now, if you are new to this channel and enjoying the content that you're seeing, make sure that if you haven't already done so, that you're hitting the subscribe button down below, that you turn on the bell notification so you're going to get reminders every single time a new video is popping up. And further adding to that, at the very end of this video, we'll be popping up a playlist of other Diamond Select stuff that I've looked at over the years. You know, if you have a little bit of time to kill, and not literally, like, figuratively, a little bit of time to kill. Not that you're going to be going around killing people, but if you have a little bit of time, check out that playlist. There's quite a lot of videos on there. And of course, keep your peepers peeled while we have wrapped up the review here for John Wick. There is going to be more Diamond Select reviews coming your way. As always, thanks for watching. See you guys next time.